When the Soviet Army unveiled the 2S7 Pion in the 1970s, the world was stunned by its power and ability to obliterate targets at enormous distances. This wasn't just an artillery system, but a true giant capable of destroying enemies from such faraway ranges that the enemy wouldn't even have time to realize what had happened. But how was it created? What secrets does this unique self-propelled artillery hide? Let's find out right now. The 2S7 Pion is a Soviet self-propelled artillery system that became a true symbol of artillery might. Its development began in the late 1960s, when the Soviet leadership decided to create a weapon capable of striking targets at long ranges with enormous destructive power. At that time, existing artillery systems couldn't effectively operate at such distances, and the requirements for the new weapon were extremely high. The first challenge was choosing a platform that could handle such a powerful weapon. They decided to use a wheeled chassis with high cross-country mobility, which would not only move the heavy weapon but also function in any conditions. Eventually, a chassis with an 8x8 wheeled configuration was chosen, providing excellent mobility and the ability to traverse any type of terrain, be it mud, sand, or snow. A massive 203mm gun was mounted on the chassis, capable of firing at incredible ranges. The weapon had an unusual design, featuring an enhanced aiming system and a hydraulic mechanism that allowed for quick adjustments of both vertical and horizontal angles. This ensured high shooting accuracy and a rapid response to changes on the battlefield. However, despite its enormous power, the Pion was not easy to operate. To effectively manage such a machine, a highly skilled crew was required. The crew consisted of a commander, a gunner, a driver mechanic, a loader, and an operator. It's important to note that creating such a system was fraught with difficulties, especially in terms of maintenance and logistics. Every shot required substantial preparation time. The 2S7 gun could fire both regular and rocket-assisted shells, which significantly extended its range. With rocket-assisted shells, the range could reach up to 47 kilometers, allowing it to strike targets at a distance where the enemy wouldn't have time to react. Of course, such shots required special precision and high levels of preparation. However, the Pion was not just powerful but also quite heavy. The system weighed around 46 tons, which severely limited its mobility in fast-paced combat situations. This made it an ideal choice for strategic operations, where speed was less important than precision and destructive power. But in mobile engagements, it was more difficult to use effectively. It's also worth noting that, despite its power, the 2S7 was used not only in large conflicts but also in smaller wars, such as the Afghanistan conflict. In these conditions, it demonstrated its effectiveness by delivering strikes on important targets, such as command posts, ammunition depots, and transportation hubs. However, in real combat situations, it was limited by its weight and the complexity of its maintenance. Despite these limitations, the 2S7 Pion earned respect among military professionals and was in demand in combat units. It became a real threat to the enemy, capable of destroying fortifications and eliminating strategically important targets. Even after decades of service, the system remained in the arsenals of many countries, which speaks to its unique effectiveness. The use of systems like the 2S7 wasn't limited to just strategic operations. It was also used to support ground troops in combat. For instance, during the defense of key positions or in offensive operations where the goal was to suppress enemy fire points or large groups of troops. Artillery with such long-range capability was a decisive factor on the battlefield. It's important to note that the fire control system of the 2S7 was extremely complex. It allowed the commander to account for numerous factors, such as weather conditions, elevation, and terrain type. These influencing factors could complicate accuracy, but thanks to advanced technology and well-trained crews, the system remained one of the most accurate and destructive in its class. Another key feature of the 2S7 was its ability to operate as part of artillery units. This meant the system could work in coordination with other weapon types, increasing overall effectiveness. For example, it could strike fortifications, while other parts of the army would engage in territory liberation or defense. The self-propelled artillery system was also equipped with a powerful aiming system that allowed the commander to quickly identify targets and relay that information to other units. This significantly reduced response times and enhanced the overall effectiveness of fire. Despite its high cost and the complexity of maintenance, the 2S7 Pion became one of the symbols of Soviet artillery power. It embodied how science and technology could be used to achieve strategic goals. The 2S7 not only enhanced the capabilities of the Soviet Army, but it also became one of the most famous and respected artillery systems in the world. Over the years, the 2S7 Pion grew more popular. Various countries, including those not aligned with the Soviet Union, began to order these systems. Soon, the 2S7 became part of the military arsenals of countries such as Iraq, India, and Syria. This demonstrated that the system was truly versatile and highly effective. Many years later, with the development of new technologies, the Pion was replaced by more modern systems. But despite this, its power and capabilities remain memorable to many military specialists. This system left an indelible mark on the history of artillery and continues to be regarded as one of the most powerful weapons of its time. Today, the 2S7 Pion is still used by various countries. Although many military units have switched to newer systems, this artillery system remains an important element in the arsenals of some nations. It's no coincidence that it's still called one of the most powerful artillery systems ever created. In conclusion, it's important to note that the 2S7 Pion isn't just a weapon, it's an entire era in the world of artillery. Its development, successes, and influence on combat operations remain etched in history. If you found it interesting to learn more about such a unique piece of equipment, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment.